The Mighty Ducks. I was raised off the Mighty Ducks movies.
So this was my next one, and I had to think long and hard on this one because, like I said, issues I was running into was everything I wanted to talk about. Like, oh, maybe there's a potential for a film or another film or some one offshoot. And like I said, I don't want to hear shit about y'all in the comments, even though we can do whatever the fuck we want. But Mighty Ducks, classic childhood movie. Emilio Estevez. Hopefully I said that name right, because you don't see him anymore. You know, the drunken lawyer, community
You really
service.
don't.
Duke coached this little league team. Took them from nothings to something. Brought the Ducks. He had the sequel. They went to high school. Yeah, they went to high school. You know, he took them to Team USA. You know, he got into corporate world and lost himself. Sleep with the enemy, getting ice cream, and made his comeback. And then the third film, they went to college. Yeah. There's a real trend with all these third fucking movies. But this movie was just, I remember watching these as a kid with my great grandmother before she had passed away. She had bought me all of them. This was when Disney used to make children movies for children, about children. You know, I'm gonna say that out loud because modern Disney is not like that now. I tried to get into hockey and skating
because of
these
this.
movies.
Yes.
Movies. I tried rollerblading, I tried the skating, all that didn't work. Many fall attempts and fall downs. I was like, fuck it, I don't want to do this, Mom. But these movies, loved all of them. And the childhood humor, the child issues that was going on in these films, it made it to where, like I said, there were for kids. You were a kid watching this, and you can relate on your mom giving you shit about your schoolwork or seeing some guy, you know, single motherhood, all that stuff. You know, it was a product of its time. Going back on, like I said, with the other trilogy, they don't make films like this. This is Disney. This is Disney. They don't make films like this for kids, by kids. I'm sorry, not by kids. For kids, about kids. Most modern Disney stuff, if it's the child stuff, it's animated. They don't do live action stuff. But I love these films. I was a huge fan, especially of the second one. When they went Team USA and they were in high school, I enjoyed that. Kenan Thomas, that's when he was introduced. He was a childhood actor that started with, I believe, All That before having his own show and then going to SNL now. These were great. What was the big kid name? The big kid bully with the real hard hit. It's not Aberman. Aberman was the big dude. No, there was Goldberg. Big guy was the goalie, always eating. You know, movies like this, they used to make fun of the fat kid or whoever. Shit, I can't remember. I'm just naming out random names from the kids. But you had to have seen it. You had to have been. And this is a part of my childhood. And Trish, take it away.
Listen, the Mighty Ducks, I will not accept any slander on the Mighty Ducks. Now, you can say, oh, the third film, I don't give a f. Like my cousin said, I was raised in Texas and there's no such thing as a hockey team. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to join a hockey team. And she was like, what the fuck is a hockey team? It's not a thing unless you're in like some AA outside of school. No school has hockey in Texas, at least not where I was raised in Dallas growing up in the late 90s. Like, nah. But I love these movies. This is pinnacle Walt Disney movie output. Like, and I remember they showed these movies damn near nonstop for years. And I remember got a VCR in my room. This was one of the first movies I remember playing when I got a VCR in my room and could play movies that I wanted to play without being harassed by the other adults in the house. And Mighty Ducks, bro, was on my shelf along with Lion King and the Land Before Time movies. Like, this was top tier kid movie for me. So yes, the Mighty Ducks, they made me want to go play hockey, even though it's not a thing in Texas. I love these movies, and I still watch these movies on the Disney app. Like, they're there. They're like classics, Disney movies, up there with Lion King. Like I said, I refer to these movies in such high regard that I make my nephew watch these movies, because there's just a certain tone kid movies back then that really was like, you're a kid. And in today's age, where Roblox is running rampant, Fortnite, a lot of this stuff that these kids, well, at least my nephew, let me not say kids, I mean, he watched so much TikTok and YouTube short, like, it's like his brain cannot sit and watch a 2-hour movie, and the hour and a half, whatever long his movie, and he will sit there and he will watch the Mighty Ducks. So that's just so prevalent of how successful and how good these movies were from then and still are good today. So shout out to the Mighty Ducks. I know a lot of people, when I bring bring up old school movies and child movies, Mighty Ducks is known by everybody. I have not met a person in the 90s and even the early 2000s that don't know about the Mighty Ducks series. That says a lot because Disney at one point was pumping out a lot of good shit for a very long time. So yeah, shout out to them to the Mighty Ducks, bruh. Forever in my heart.
Hell yeah. Fulton, that was the kid's name.
Oh
Fulton
god.
was the big bully kid that had that mean heavy slap shot. It was killing me while my cousin was talking, I was trying to get this out. But Fulton, and he had his counterpart that came from Chicago that was a fan of his. It was really bugging
Okay.
me. But yeah, these are great movies. We can just move it on.
All right, this mofo. All right, my next pick, Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Listen, at the back end of my list, it gets a little dicey because, like I said, my cousin took a lot of the stuff that I originally. I cannot deny the Pirates of the Caribbean had a whole fucking movement at one point. The films in the original trilogy, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, Pirates of the Caribbean, Outer Worlds End. Now, people are going to be like, oh, there's more Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Do not acknowledge those. They are way after the fact, many years after this third and the end of the trilogy. So they're kind of like modern day fuck ups. So anyway, led by Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, the trilogy blends buckling adventure with fantasy, myth, and comedy. The trilogy centers on freedom, choice, and consequences. True freedom comes with risk and sacrifice. Authority and rigid order are often corrupt and flawed. Cleverness and adaptability matters more than brute strength. Faith can be challenged, but never without a price. Jack Sparrow represents chaotic freedom, while characters like Will Turner and Elizabeth evolve between duty and independence. Cultural impact. These movies revived a pirate genre for modern audience, made Jack Sparrow one of the most iconic characters of the 2000s. Through comedy-heavy performance could anchor blockbuster hits, polarized pirate aesthetics, slang, and Hollywood costume themes. Template for fantasy action franchises with humor and lore. The trilogy reshaped Disney's live-action strategy, influenced how studio balanced spectacle with personality. Now, the box office, Curse of the Blue Pearl in 2003 did $654 million worldwide. Well, Dead Man's Chest 3 years later in 2006 did $107 billion. This franchise, the second movie in the trilogy, did over $1 billion in 2006. Crazy amount of money. At World's End in 2007, they was only a year apart, did $960 million. So even the third one almost eclipsed $1 billion. The trilogy total box office is near $3 billion worldwide. The original Pirates trilogy proved that character-driven chaos, myth-heavy world building, and humor could coexist in blockbuster scale, creating cultural phenomena that defined the mid-2000s cinema. And a lot of people do forget that the Pirates of the Caribbean is a Disney franchise. And so a lot of people looked at how crazy and how chaotic Jack Sparrow, the character, was. And, you know, people fawn over Johnny Depp because of his Pirates of the Caribbean role and how he portrayed the character. And even when he was hit with some unfortunate allegations and Disney dropped him because they were going to make, I think, another Pirates of the Caribbean, fans erupted because that's how much love Jack Sparrow, the character, has and how much weight he carries. And even now, there is speculation saying that, oh, Disney will now allow him to do another Pirates of the Caribbean. But a lot of people is like, hey, we passed that, you know, let him do whatever he wants to do. But anyway, these movies, I remember being young and I remember Halloween people trying to dress up as Jack Sparrow. These movies was very much prevalent in the children community at school and stuff like that. A lot of people drew a lot of art classes was a very pirate theme, and I don't know, it's not like they did anything really groundbreaking, like storytelling wise, or just the fact that Johnny Depp is great. Outside of that, I mean, probably are average like movies, if we're being honest. But they just were so loved and beloved, and they made so much money, so they were literally plastered every fucking where. Like you could not go without knowing about these IPs and these product of Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's the reason why I did put them on the list, just because it was such a cultural icon, and the culture just would not allow Pirates of the Caribbean to fail. It was kind of crazy because, like I said, the story is pretty mid. Anything outside of Johnny Depp's performance is pretty mid. I remember the octopus man looked disgusting. I will say CGI was pretty good because a lot of them characters that's on that ghost ship, that's CGI. And like I said, I feel like CGI has gotten worse, because maybe I need to go back and watch, because I just feel like that shit looked real back in the day. And I was like, fuck, but now I can point CGI out. I know it when I see it. But back then, it really did play trickery on your eyes. So yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean's on my list. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hold it in high regard. Story wise, I'm gonna be honest, it's mid. Anything outside of Johnny Depp and Jack Sparrow is pretty mid to me. I don't even care about the other dude and the girl he liked, and he, ended up being the captain of the ghost ship, and he can only come ashore one. Yeah, I remember all that, but all that is pretty mid outside of Johnny Depp and Jack Sparrow. Let's just be honest. But yeah, that's Pirates of the Caribbean. How did you see the Pirates of the Caribbean? Did you even like it?
I saw the first two films. I did not see the third. I remember the first one. He was trying to get his ship back, the Aztec gold and the curse and something or whatnot. The second one, I can't fully remember what was going on with that. I think it was one night when he got on the Flying Dutchman and the Davy Jones locker. Everybody on the cruise ship was like something of like a crustacean person, something.
Yeah,
Am I getting that
yeah.
right? Yeah, that's about it. I didn't see the third one. I enjoyed Johnny Depp. I love the first one. I just I don't know. I didn't get into it. I was so confused. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention or something. But I love Johnny Depp, and I love him for another trilogy. I didn't put him on here because it's too many decades for motherfuckers to know about it. But they were interesting, and you are right. They are a Disney, which probably explains why there's so many of them beyond the third one. And I think what you said is right. After that trial and mishap he had, they were like, "Oh, hey, you come back. We're gonna do something more with the series, a reboot or something." I think he told them, "Fuck y'all," because of how they did him with the accusations, and then like, oh, it comes out, oh, you was telling the truth the whole time. No, keep it moving, bro. But I have seen them. Like I said, the first two, they were interesting. And that's about it. I didn't see the third one, so I can't really put my 2 cents on it. But I will say they did bring pirate culture back, or made it
Yeah.
more relevant than just regular swashbuckling and drunks, etc. I believe this and Assassin's Creed Black Flag really helped, with the pirate as opposed to other mediums. But I really ain't got much on.
Yeah, like I said, anything outside of Johnny Depp was kind of mid, but it's the fact that this shit did buku numbers. It has a large following. People still want Johnny Depp to play this character again, even in the 2026 era. So yeah, I think for all of that, it does deserve a place on the list, even though I find a lot of stuff outside of Johnny Depp performance to be mid. But probably gonna get some flack in the comments. But hey, it's on my list. I gave it a shine. I gave it its time.